In this video, I'm going to teach you how to train every single day. Now, before I do this, I want to give you my disclaimer, which is the fact that this type of training is not for everybody. You have to be a very specific type of character to embark this type of system where you're going to the gym every single day. On top of that, your recovery needs to be absolutely perfect. You have to sleep enough, you got to eat enough. Basically, you got to be taking this stuff very seriously. And then lastly, you got to be willing to put in the hard work no matter how you feel. So again, this method is not going to be for everybody. It's going to be for a very select few. For those people who do want to learn, allow me to explain how to get it done. So the method that I'm describing is, of course, the Bulgarian Method, which involves training every single day. Now, of course, the Bulgarians, when they used to win their medals and all that, they used to train multiple times a day, every single day. But that's not what I'm going to suggest in this video. Rather, I'm going to give you my take on Bulgarian Light, which is basically like a watered down, easier version to do if you're not on drugs and you want really good recovery and strength gains. Now, what you can expect in terms of strength is pretty much twice the rate of your normal strength gains. So if you do a full body 3 times a week, you might gain like 2 times the strength in a very fast amount of time. So that said, this system is best reserved for peaking cycles, short term, or if you just want to bring up a lift extremely fast, okay? And this could be used year round as well if you rotate the lifts. So to do the Bulgarian Light method, all you have to do is go to the gym, pick one exercise, not more than one, and max out. It can be 90%, it could be 100%. Most guys are going to say 90%, but after watching enough of Eric Bugenhagen's videos, I've come to the understanding that yes, you can go 100% balls to the wall. And yes, you can even fail lifts, even though I don't recommend this. So all you have to do, folks, is go in the gym, pick one lift. Say it's a deadlift. Work up to your 1 rep max, and then you leave. That's it. There's no accessory work. There's none of that sort. You're just going in, you're hitting the one lift, and you leave. Now, the next day, you're going to go back in and do it again. 1 set, all out. 1 rep max. That's it. And you might increase the weight by 5-10 pounds. So you do that. Day after that, you're going again, repeat the same thing over again. And you're going to do this every single day. Now, some of you guys may be thinking to yourself, well, it's only 1 set. How can I possibly make gains off of that? It's true that it's only 1 set, but each set is done with maximum intensity. You're pretty much using the max effort method every single day, which is one of the greatest strength training methods of all time. On top of that, you have a specificity of training to the maximum, as well as high frequency, which are both very important for naturals and for getting strength in the lift. You are treating the exercise like a skill, and you're treating it such that you don't have recovery issues because you're just doing 1 set and you're getting out of the gym. And on top of that, total workload is pretty much the same, if not higher, than your regular program, because at the end of the day, you might be doing 7 sets of deadlifts an entire week. So yes, although it might just be 1 set of deadlifts in a given session, by the end of the week, you're doing 7 sets of pulls done with above 90% of your 1 rep max. And that in itself is going to get you very proficient at the movement, very strong at the lift. So it's not uncommon for you to gain like 100 pounds on your pull in 1 week. I know it sounds crazy, like what? Adding 100 pounds to your deadlift in 1 week? Yes, it could be done. You can easily, check me out, right? You can easily go in the gym, 500 day 1, 515 day 2, 525 day 3, 545 day 4, 565 day 5, 585 day 6, 600 day 7. This could happen. I know it sounds very, very like, what? You're telling me I can gain that much strength in a fast amount of time? Yes, you can. But like I said, you have to optimize your sleep and nutrition. And that's the next battle, okay? First is the fact that you're going to be sore as hell when you do this. For your first 3 to 4 days, you're going to feel destroyed. Your body's going to be beat up. You're not going to be able to function normally during your regular activities during the day. You're going to feel very, very tired and beat up, and you're not going to want to go to the gym. At nighttime, sometimes your joints are going to hurt, your muscles are going to ache, but guess what? You got to push through it. In fact, the days where you feel the most shit, that's when you really have to go to the gym and push yourself, because you'll find that that's when the PRs come in. When you feel like absolute dog shit, that's when you got to kill it. So that's going to be the hardest part, the recovery. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. And the way that I recommend that you maximize your recovery is by, number 1, eating a calorie surplus. I don't recommend cutting while using Bulgarian Method. And then secondly, train at nighttime right before you go to bed, because this will allow you to get like almost 24 hours of recovery, and you pretty much go to bed the moment you're done training. So you go home. This is what you do, right? Before your workout, you eat a big meal. You have your coffee or whatever to get that caffeine stimulating your body. Go in the gym, hit that 1 rep max, come home, eat again, go straight to bed. And now, next time you train, you're going to have almost 24 hours of recovery. I think that's the best way of going about Bulgarian. And then also, you have the extra benefit of taking a nap in the day. So you can get double recovery like that. But that's like the number one thing. You're going to feel beat up. You're going to feel absolutely destroyed. Now, what do you do if you feel really, really tired and you can't break any PRs? Well, there's a few things you can do. Number one, you can go in the gym and you can do a light recovery workout. So you might go in, do some reverse hypers, some lat pull downs, some push downs. Like you just do some basic stuff, kind of like GPP, just to get some circulation going, but it's not too draining. Kind of like a mini home workout, okay? That's one option. The second option is to go in and instead of hitting a 1 rep max, you do a 5 rep max, or an 8 rep max, or 10 rep max, or 3 rep max. Point is you lighten the load a little bit. You don't go as intense. And of course, that means that next session, you're going to have to make up for it by going balls to the wall. Another way is to actually do an easier variation or something that takes away tension from the desired muscles. So if you're doing a lot of behind the back deadlifts on the floor, maybe you can go in one workout, do some block pulls, just to save the lower back a little bit. That's one option right there, Another option is to actually switch over to a completely opposite muscle group because you can actually use Bulgarian with like two muscles at the same time for the most part. You can easily do like one day lower body, the next day upper, and you can just go back and forth, back and forth. You're still going to get very high frequency. So that would be my next option. You actually, instead of doing your lower body, if you're going to do that, you go hit some bench, and that could work. Or you do some bench and then you do some lower body accessories. And then the final option is to actually just take a day off. Now, I don't recommend this. I think that with Bulgarian, you're going to get the best gains possible if you push through every single workout, maximum intensity, but that is definitely doable. If you take a recovery, I recommend no more than 2 days off the entire week because you should be getting that frequency in. At least 5 times a week frequency for the given body part. That's what I really, really recommend, okay? And that's another thing, right? You have to push yourself during every workout because it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, and if you don't find music that motivates you, if you don't have the character to go full-on warrior mode, psychotic mode, you're not going to make it. So it's all a mindset. You got to be confident every time you approach those weights. You got to have music that moves you emotionally. You got to go in knowing that you're not going to fail this weight. Okay, you got to make strength gains every single time you go to the gym. 5-10 pounds at least, You can even make bigger jumps if you're feeling very confident. But trust me, guys, with Bulgarian, you can make strength gains very fast. Now, some guys are going to ask me, okay, Alex, what do I do when I plateau? Well, that's inevitable. After 1 to 3 weeks, the biological law of accommodation is going to come in, and you're not going to make strength gains anymore. So in that case, you just switch over to a different lift. It can be specific or it can be something completely different. I recommend that you keep it specific. So if you're doing a Bulgarian squatting cycle, and you've been doing 2 to 3 weeks of back squats, and now you're feeling beat up, switch over to front squat. Milk that for a little bit. Once you've done that, you can either move on to Zerker squats, so another variation, or you can go back to back squats, and now you can try beating that PR. So that's how it works. Whenever you plateau, you switch up the variation, and you keep going balls to the wall. It's similar to concurrent in that way, okay? Oh yeah, and one final thing that I'd like to mention, guys, that some lifts work better with Bulgarian than others, okay? For example, if you're doing a lot of conventional deadlifts off the floor, you might find that going at 100% might be a bit too taxing. You might have to go at 90%, and instead of doing a 1 rep max, you might have to do a 5 rep max. Okay? This happens with certain exercises. Certain exercises, they just drain your body way too much. That's why there's a few lifts that guaranteed you can do very easily, such as the behind the back deadlift, because there's a smaller moment arm on the lower back. Sumo deadlifts, again, less lower back, so you can recover faster. Jefferson deadlifts, same thing. Squats, very doable. Pretty much like exercises that tax you like crazy, it's going to be harder to do Bulgarian, and you're going to have to rotate exercises more frequently. I would even include rack pulls above the knee in that equation because it is a lot of work on the CNS. So you're probably not going to be able to do it for a long period of time. But yeah, like some lifts are better suited than others, and then on top of that, some exercises you can't do 1 rep maxes, like rows. If you're doing T-bar rows every single day, you're not going to do 1 rep max. You're going to do a 5 rep max. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to play a little bit around, find what works for you. And then also recognize that you should make use of your equipment. I highly recommend that you use straps with Bulgarian because your grip is not going to be a limiting factor. And that's typically what goes down first, the grip. So straps will allow for better recovery. And also wear a belt because it's going to make sure that you can pull more frequently if you're doing a deadlift of some type, So again, this is going to require some experimentation on your part. But recognize that some lifts are not as good for Bulgarian, You got to really find lifts that don't aggravate your joints. Like even for pressing, man, I find the overhead pressing is probably better to do, than flat bench. Flat bench might wreck your shoulders if you do it too frequently, So maybe if you want to bench, you could do reverse band bench or slingshot bench, something to deload yourself a little bit at the bottom. Because recovery, like I said, recovery is going to be the biggest problem here, especially if you're a real drug-free lifter. Like, you have to have your sleep, your nutrition on point. Everything has to be perfect. So that's probably the number one drawback of Bulgarian, including the fact that you can only specialize on like 1-2 lifts at the same time. But beyond that, you should be all good. This is a basic video. I didn't want to get too comprehensive because I can literally talk for like 30 to 60 minutes on this topic. So I don't want to break it down too much there. But if you have questions about the system, give me some questions down below, and I'll try to clarify things a little bit further. Maybe something that this video did not address. But yeah, that's Bulgarian training in a nutshell. If you're ready for it, if you think you have the character, the mind to do it, then you got to go in and try it out. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give me your feedback down below, and I will talk to you all next time.